I'm Cadet James Beckett. I'm your squad leader, and we are 1st Platoon, 1st Squad, Charlie Company. And this is your paragraph 1 brief for Operation Bobcat Lightning. Our task is to attack to destroy Objective Phantom in order to deny enemy influence over the battalion DO. I say again, our task is to attack to destroy Objective Phantom in order to deny enemy influence over the battalion DO. We are a squad made up of 2 teams. Alpha team is a support team, and their task is support by fire. The purpose is to enable freedom of movement for the enemy. The key weapon systems are the M249 and M320. Our second team is the security team, and their task is to interdict to prevent enemy influence on the enemy. The key weapon systems are the M249 and the M320. We also have a gun team attached, and their task is to destroy enemy mortar team, when their purpose is to deny enemy influence over the battalion DO. And their key weapon system is the M240 rifle. This is our area of operations. Our area of operations is AO Ronin, with AO No Slide here and AO Emerald here. North is going that way. In our box, we have 37 northing, 31 northing, 17 easting, and 39 easting. And we are, AO Ronin is boxed in by the coastal mountain range to the east and the Bainan River to the west. We have this bridge here is a key point to familiarize yourself with, and then also there's an intersection just here near Objective Phantom, which is another key point. Enemy assets, there's 1 platoon of Z-10Ks, which are fixed rotary wing aircraft at Taitung Air Base, but their identification is key friendly force battalion or larger, so we won't have to worry about that as a squad. There is a battery of PL-66 howitzers, and their identification is anything larger than squad size elements, so we don't have to worry about that. But their reaction time is 10 minutes. The PLT Z-10Ks are 30 minutes. There's a PP-87, which has a pattern of daily firing from 0300 to 0800 hours, and 1500 to 1900 hours, which has a reaction time of 5 minutes. There also is 1 motorized platoon with a reaction time of 40 minutes. And there are, just here in the south, there's air defense, so we won't be able to use air defense. So this is our GTAO, and here again we have the coastal mountain range and the Bainan River to the west. And as you can see, the high vegetation and the dense contour lines means that the terrain will be really tough to get through, so we're going to have to ensure both enemy and friendly forces are not going to be able to use mounted movements. Right here is avenue of approach 1, which will be our most likely avenue of approach. This will be us. There's a recon squad here for the enemy, so we will stay to the east of those and handrail the coastal mountain range to get to the objective. The other avenue of approach we have for friendly is here, and that avenue of approach, there's a more likely chance that we end up seeing enemies, so that's why avenue of approach 1 is the most likely. There are 3 avenue approaches for the enemies, 1 from the south, 1 along Route Camaro, which they do have the objective over, and then this one here, given if that squad team, or the recon squad, comes for help. Marked advantages, there is this key point 1, which is the bridge that I was talking about, which gets AO no slack and AO Ronin have those connect to each other. And then there's also another key point here, which is the intersection just adjacent to the objective, and Objective Phantom is just right there. There will be smaller fields of fire due to terrain and vegetation, and open fields of fire dominated by key point 2, just here, and the town adjacent to Objective Phantom, which will be just right around there. Cover and concealment is everywhere, and certain areas make for good engagement areas. So you'll see, for example, like this, where there's civilian population, but they've taken away the trees and vegetation. So now for weather. Visibility, illumination decreases to near 0 over time in the next week. So increased precipitation as well might also lead to lower visibility. This favors friendly forces because we maintain an element of surprise and the ability to move throughout the AO undetected. Wind, there's low wind speed with wind speed under 9 miles per hour on the worst day, which will not affect UAS or platoon of Z-10K attack helicopters due to low wind speed. Light winds will have small effect. And this favors the enemy because it gives them access to air assets. Precipitation is 65% each day, 75% is the high on the 29th. Heavy rain will make it harder for the enemy to use aerial assets, and with effects on friendly, it will make us have a wet weather gear in our PCCs and PCIs with negligible effects on the mission since our movement is in the woods and that favors us. Cloud cover is about 98% each day, which will hinder the ability for aerial assets again, and this favors us as well. And the high temperature and humidity throughout the week means enemy may have a lower awareness of attention to detail because of the heat and the sweat. So this is an enemy situation in the company analysis. Our platoon faced the enemy, a motorized infantry platoon at 90% strength. And as you can see here, this is the river from earlier, and this is the coastal mountain range here. So they have a platoon, enemy platoon here in AO Ronin. This is a platoon in AO No Slack, we don't need to worry about them. And this is also another platoon in a different AOs, we don't need to worry about them. This is the defensive mortar team that is right next to the objective. And this is the recon team searching this area right here. So the enemy composition that we're facing against, so like I mentioned earlier, we have this mortar team here, and then there's that recon team up here ahead, and along AO Ronin, you can see that there's squad-sized elements the enemy has. Key weapons possessed by these teams is there's a QLG-10, QJZ 89 and 88. There's one of each, and these are, especially the QGZs, are high casualty-producing weapons with a range of 1,000 meters. And then the QLG is something like an M320, used for dead space with a range of 200 meters. And the QGZs, M249 and 240 Bravo, will be the closest thing to that. And then the PP-87 I was talking about earlier, there's one of those weapon systems, and that's used for dead space. This is the mortar that I was talking about. The range of 110 meters to 5.6 kilometers, and it's a 60 millimeter mortar. The target that we're going up against, that's a high value target, is a CSK 141. So taking it out would give us the benefit, but the enemy could still function without it. And then high payoff target is the PP-87, which is that mortar, and it's down here, and it's very mission critical for enemy forces. What is also important is taking out their leadership. So another high payoff target would be a squad leader or a team leader. If we look here at our on the squad level, the enemy sit temp. So this right here will be the mortar team that I was talking about earlier, and this open area provides as a good place for an engagement area. There's a phase line here, given that if friendly forces pass through this phase line, that is their time to start firing. And then there are point references all around here, just allowing this open area to be a place for this squad to attack. This is a mortar, so the range is much more than just this right here. This phase line as well is the same thing. If U.S. forces were to get past this phase line, it'd be good to engage there. Attack, disrupt, and deny. Here we have the rest of the squad, because this was the attached element. Here's the rest of the squad that we're fighting up against. And down here, we would assume that they would have a high casualty producing weapon right here by EA Ronnie. And we have the dead space M320 Bravo US equivalent weapon for here. And then right here, we have the CSK in the village, which its job is to conceal and disrupt. And these routes, we have Route Iceland, Route Ireland, which has a 30-minute time for the enemy to leave. And then also we have Route Scotland, which has a 20-minute time. And Route Scotland is very important because we know that there's a squad up here, that recon team, and especially if we see them, they can come down here like that. The purpose of the enemy's operation is to facilitate disruption of USF offensive efforts. They will accomplish this by conducting area defense by focusing on retaining terrain and absorbing the enemy into interlocked positions. Early identification of USF patrols and composition to their concentration of combat power. And this is decisive because it enables enemy forces the intelligence and time to prepare and conduct the ambush of U.S. forces. The enemy's end state is to detect and disrupt. Friendly is to minimize casualties and be ready for the future operations, i.e. counterattack. And the most likely course of action is the rest of the squad remains in this village. But the most dangerous is if the squad comes up here, and then whenever the friendly forces do get here, they can all attack on us. Our mission statement is Charger Company 1-5 Infantry disrupts enemy forces in AO Ronin no later than 2200 August 24th in order to deny enemy influence of Battalion DO. Key tasks to disrupt enemy operations in depth, deny enemy uncontested use of high-speed avenues and approaches, and retain maximum combat power. Avoid decisive engagements and reconsolidate 2nd and 3rd Platoon. Enemy North Torbian forces in the zone disrupted without accurate knowledge of Charger element. And the civilian minimized civilian casualties, friendly, dispersed elements reconsolidated, posture for follow-on offensive operations. Adjacent units are 2nd and 3rd Platoon. And then our one level up intent, the mission statement is 1st Platoon, Charlie Company 1-5 Infantry, disrupt enemy forces in AO Ronin no later than 2200 August 24th in order to deny enemy influence over the battalion enemy. And it's the same other than reconsolidation for their key tasks. Their end state is the primary MSRs in AO Ronin contested, forces disrupted without accurate knowledge of composition and minimize civilian casualties and collateral damage to infrastructure. Platoon should be reconsolidated at the PB, posture for follow-on offensive operations. And this is just an overall view on where everything will be. This is our platoon here, and these are the other objectives that our other platoons are getting. And Objective Phantom is our here. So, pending any questions, this is my brief on paragraph 1.